Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be here in Tirupati. For once, not picking up laddus and talking to a bunch of interested young students or something like that. So anyways, fact that I've been born into a very, very, very illustrious family sometimes gives me the jitters, gives me the creeps, to be very honest with all of you. My grandfather, Mr.Y.G.Parthasarathy, happens to be a pioneer in the field of Tamil theatre. My dad, Y.G.Mahendra, has been in the Tamil film industry for almost 50 years. Our theatre group is probably the oldest Tamil theatre group, still continuously operating for the 60th continuous year. So it is a big legacy I kind of shoulder. And my grandmother, Rajalakshmi, well, not many people know her maiden name. She's always known as Mrs. YGP, is the dean and director of one of, I would say, South India's biggest schools, the Padma Seshadri group of schools. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of the school. So, when you come from this kind of a background, the first reaction anybody has is, "Avangalukku ennappa?" You understand what I'm saying? "Avangalukku enna? She's got everything. It's very easy. No problem. She'll start, she'll do. It'll all come to her," as though, there are some 7 angels standing there right on top, waiting to shower all their blessings on me and say, "Bingo, you become whoever you are." But on the contrary, I must say that for people like me, it's a lot more tough. I would have probably been able to get to where I got faster if I was a nobody, in the sense that I didn't have this big family name, background and all that. Because what happens is, like Mufasa says in The Lion King, with great power comes great responsibility. So what happens is they start comparing you with your elders. They start expecting you to be the same. I mean, nobody is a clone of another person. You just happen to have some parts of their DNA, that's all. But you are expected to behave exactly the similar way. You're expected to do the same things they did. And sometimes that's not what you want to do in life, and that's what happened to me. I studied in Padma Seshadri. So I kind of, for me, I was a product of Padma Seshadri and worked there, started off my career there, but something was not right. I wasn't happy. I was feeling that we were doing the same things, the same kind of, one teacher screaming at 40 children, and a child goes to class at 8 a.m. and sits in the same place till 3:15. It's very difficult. I don't know how you guys are going to do it till 4 o'clock this evening. Scares me. So the system of education, the textbooks, the quality, the teaching, the methodologies, I wasn't happy. So I actually went up to my grandmother one day and I said, "You know what? Why don't you try and do something different?" She said, "Listen, sweetie, I've done this for 50 years. I ain't changing. You want to do something, go for it. My blessings are with you, but I'm not going to change what I'm doing here." Fair enough. And that's exactly how I decided to start this school under the trust that we call Calibre Educational Foundation. And I named the nursery Mrs. Y.G.P. School because I wanted something in her name. Because she has done so much to the field of education, but she named her school after somebody else. Padma Seshadri happens to be a woman whose husband gave her the land to start the school. So she named the school after her. So there's nothing in her name. So I said, let me do something, let me start. So that is exactly how Calibre and Mrs. Y.G.P. School started, because I was not happy. And that's a point here that I want to always keep stressing on, that never do something if you're not happy doing it. However compelling, however difficult it may be, because I understand that many of us are forced into doing things that we don't like doing. But end of the day, we start doing that, we start believing our own lies, and we start living our own flaws, and then end of the day, you come out feeling miserable. And it's not worth it. After all, we know we live one life. I don't know about afterlife and before life and all that stuff. Right now, I'm here. So I want to make myself useful, and I want to feel good, end of the day. So my husband and I, anyway, outside of that, my husband and I started Calibre, we started the school, and we decided that we have to do things that nobody has done before. We wanted to do different things. We wanted to do things that were more current, and not something that the British left behind 63 years ago, and they moved on. but we still follow the same system. Now, end of the day, there is no point in trying to cram a student in 4.5 years of college what he has not learned for 15 years of his life in school. To me, I think school education is much more important than the 4.5 years of college, because what happens is you learn something in school and you come, and then you have to undo everything you've learned and face the world in college, because you're totally thrown into the world, and then they ask you to follow your heart and do your own projects, and they suddenly teach you life skills at the age of 16. I don't think that's the way it should be. It should start from the time you are 3. Otherwise, it is not going to get there. So what we decided to do is we decided to create the school system just like a college, where the kids move from one classroom to another. There isn't a specific classroom for a batch of children in our school. They move, and these are not called classrooms, these are called labs, because every lab, every learning station, as we call them, is a subject-specific learning station. So whether it's a 3-year-old or a 13-year-old, depending on their age group, we have 2 or 3 learning stations set up, and they move to that particular area. And at every learning station, we have a subject specialist who handles the subject, and for every batch, we have a specialist who knows the inside out about that batch. So at any given point in time, there are 2 people handling a batch of not more than 30. And we made it a point that come what may, whatever the pressure may be, we will stop at 30 students. We will not take on more than that. Even if it means we run on a loss, it's fine. So we have a ratio of probably 12 or 13:1, student-teacher wise, which works wonderfully. Initially, our parents went ballistic. They thought we were psychopaths because we were making children at the age of 2.5 and 3 move from room to room. The second thing they couldn't handle was we don't have notebooks in our school. We only have worksheets. We only have guide books. We don't have textbooks per se. And we have a lot of e-learning and a lot of downloading and a lot of project work from 4th grade. So this scared our parents, because they felt that these kids were coming to school and not doing anything and going back home happy. I remember some of my parents coming to me and saying, "My children are very happy. Are you sure they're studying?" So I said, "Wow, okay. So you're worried that your child is happy, or you're worried that your child is not studying? Which part of your sentence didn't I understand?" "No, ma'am, they're very happy that they come to school. But that's my worry because they're too happy." So I said, "Fantastic, but you don't have to worry, because at the end of the year, test your child. Ask them a couple of questions. You see what you get as the answer. But don't do it every month. Don't keep needling them every week. Don't keep irritating them about their homework. Because we give them homework sheets only on Fridays. We don't give them 50 sheets every week. No, it doesn't work in Calibre. We don't do it that way." So things like this kind of is helping, and we are still learning, helping our student evolve as an all-rounder. And when I mean an all-rounder, doesn't mean that he has to be a great professional in every subject. He doesn't have to score 95 in every subject or 100 in every subject. If he understands these concepts, and if he's able to face life by applying what he studies in school, whether it is college or in his work spot, I'll be a very happy correspondent. And he or she has to be happy doing what they are doing. And that is the most important part. So we started doing this, and like the person who introduced me very nicely said, we have partnerships. That was another thing that we strongly believe helps children, for the simple reason that we sit in a very cocooned atmosphere as far as schooling is concerned. We think that we know everything. We think what we teach them is final, that's like equivalent to the scriptures and nothing more. But what we fail to realize is today it is a Skype world. You click Skype and you're 10,000 miles away. You can sit and talk to your cousin or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever as though they're sitting right in front of you. So these kids are already exposed to all this. But when they come to school, you suddenly shut them up and say, only notebooks, only textbooks. Doesn't work with me. So we decided that we will open out and give them a lot of internet access with firewalls, of course, and make them understand what the globe is all about. And we also have ICT, which is the touchscreen monitor, which our children use from the age of 2.5 to I would say, re-emphasize what they learn in the other subject labs. And we work in tandem with a school in the UK, the Edward Richardson. We also we've started now working in tandem with a school in Australia, and we're looking at some tie-ups in Singapore, for the simple reason that it's not just the question of sharing each other's cultures or just the similarities, but we want our children to understand the differences more than anything else. That we have things that are common, we also have things that are not common. And you have to learn to respect those differences. Only then can you truly, truly be a citizen of the globe, because today I would consider it ridiculous if you're going to say, I'm a citizen of India. You're not. You're a citizen of the world today, because that's the way the world has become. You can't say, I'm an Indian citizen, I'm an American citizen, I'm a citizen of Australia. No. You are a citizen of the globe. And if you truly want to be a global citizen, you got to understand the similarities around you and the differences around you, and respect it and agree to disagree, which is what we try to teach our children. And as of this academic year, we have become an international school. We follow the edXL GCSE Cambridge curriculum, and we've been affiliated to them. That was another tough process. That was another tough process here, because everybody was very particular we follow the CBSE system of education. Somehow, again, I was not happy. Every time I become unhappy, I try to change something. That's what I do with myself. So I was not happy, and I said, we need to change. And we moved, and it is a big jump because it was a big risk we took, especially with the parents. Because I know in Andhra Pradesh how you all, when you were in school, go for these tuition classes from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Narayana, right? See, I know. So I can see a couple of heads bending down like that. I can understand that. So I said, this is not done. And you're not factory products. We're not manufacturing factory products for sale to America or China or Australia. So we made the big shift. We've taken the leap. Big hit, to be very honest with you, because many of the parents were not convinced. But the ones who are convinced have stuck with us, and they're very happy because they find that the application-oriented system of education makes a lot more of a difference than rote learning. So this is as far as Calibre goes. As far as my dance and my artistic career goes, well, that's been another roller coaster ride, because again, the same problem. Avangalukku ennama, that family. This avangalukku ennama family thing psychs me sometimes. All the time, rather. Avangalukku enna for everything. Are yaar, engalukku dhaan ella. Na avangalukku enna artham. You get what I'm saying? It's very difficult. But I've just kind of forayed into Tamil theatre. I've been dancing for quite a few years now, but just gotten into theatre, and I've just started my own arts and media company called Maham, which is my birth star. And we are trying to promote theatre, arts, not just classical, but folk art forms also, and promote talent amongst children and youngsters, because I strongly believe that there is no point in me performing, whether I'm dancing or singing or doing a theatre production, performing for, 40 to 80 years. Their time is over. It's time that lesser than 40 start coming to the auditoriums and watching live performances other than constantly playing video games on iPads, or going for movies, or seeing those movies downloaded privately on YouTube, even before it releases. That's become the order of the day. So I'm trying to bring these things back live. This interaction, this interface has to come back. So that's a lot of things that I'm trying to do.